Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and we are back in the town of Mossward. But before we continue with the quests we had on the previous episode, I think we can also pick up this quest in here with Alla, as I think this is the best time for doing this quest actually.
You're not scared of anything, are you?
No, a few things maybe, but tell me. Maybe you can help me then. The Mossward town bully has dared me to run to a certain spot north of town, right on the very edge of the White Water, and then come back, all in 10 minutes. Now, I'm not afraid, but I want to be certain it's possible. So what do you say to using no more than 5 minutes to run out there, and then 5 minutes to run back? That way, I'll know it can be done before I make the attempt. Here, I'll mark it on your map. It's right here. So yeah, as I told you, this is a timed quest. There's plenty of time anyway for doing this. But we can advance some of the quests we have as we make our way through the spot in the White Water we need to be at. We can collect some of the craven feathers and scouting the location for Ellery. Well, lots of things. I think I need to say I also took the time to spend some more trade points, all the trade points that I had basically. I spend them on my traits, and it seems it's working marvelously. It's taken a little bit of a while for me to get used to just having 2 length gambits available right now. That is something that always happens whenever I roll a new Warden, of course. You get to used to your 5 length gambits and everything, but once again, I do love the progression that Wardens have once again, unlocking your gambit panel progressively as you level up. I think that's a great touch and makes the class so much easier to learn, so really like this change. Really looking forward to unlocking all my gambits eventually. The meeting of the ways is the one Ellery described. Portions of the road are overgrown and lack cobbles, but you see no sign of raiders. Yeah, you can tell this road has seen better days, of course. And here we get our first chance of taking a look to some of the landscapes in Swampfleet and Cardolan, which are amazing. The LOTRO team, as always, did a great job creating this environment. And I expect to take a lot of pictures of it as we progress through these areas. Now we are getting to the spot in the White Water for the race, but really close by we will also find Geralt's Foot that you will remember we also need to recover for another quest. And when I was running this portion of the game with one of my other characters. In fact, when I was testing this on beta, I found an item for a deed that I haven't been able to find ever since, but I don't think that item was moved anyway, because those kind of things don't change with beta. This is the spot Alla described. Strangely, there is a basket with a ball of strength in there. Yeah, very strange indeed. Now, as far as I remember, there was something like a bucket in here, something like that, really close to the water. Maybe I'm misremembering it, but this is something that we ideally also need to get for some of the explorer deeds in Swampfleet and Cardolan. This is one of the things that I'm not a big fan of in this area, and that's the fact that you have a lot of deeds, but you still struggle to get enough virtue XP rewards. So if you run before the shadow and hit a suspicious object in the mud, might just be Geralt's favorite boot. Give me just a moment then. You pull an old and very dirty boot from the mud. It was really stuck in there. Alright, and I think it's supposed to be somewhere in here. But as I was saying, if you level to, let's say level 30, 32 on the early 30s by just doing before the shadow, you will eventually start struggling to get enough virtue XP to level up 5 virtues, which is something that doesn't happen if you go through the original Shadows of Angmar areas. And I understand the LOTRO team wanting to maybe decrease a little bit the amount of virtue XP available in Mossward and Cardolan so that high-level characters didn't just blaze through the area and farmed a lot of virtue XP. But I still think that we needed a way of getting virtue XP as low-level players. But anyway, there's nothing else we can do in here. I didn't find what I was looking for, so let's make it back to town. As you see here, I also took the chance of getting my good old Limbot back. It's good to have him back to be able to ride my Steed of the Citadel Guard once again. Strangely enough, well, maybe not strangely enough, maybe something that I didn't remember too well either, but I think you need to be around level 5, maybe level 6, to be able to purchase mounts in the store. A lot of mounts will not show up for you if you are not past that level gate. So that's why I wasn't able to get Limbot on the last episode. But thankfully I was able to get all the levels I needed to have him with me now. Which once again, it's very important for me, as I mentioned on my introduction video, making this Beriathan equal to the one I had on Arkenstone, and see how by the end of this Before the Shadow playthrough, how easy or how hard it would be to join the two storylines. Maybe as far as timeline goes, that will not work that well, but well, LOTRO has always played it safe. Well, no, played it loose actually with the timeline, so I don't see why I can't do the same. So yeah, we'll see how I can headcanon this eventually. Alla cheers as you approach. I have to admit that I was not sure you would be able to go out there and come back in time, but you did. So, did you see anything when you got out there? You tell her that there was a basket with a ball of string inside it beside the white water, which seemed rather strange. I see, yes. That is peculiar. Thank you for your help.
You are not going to believe this.
So before we get the next quest with Alla, we need to actually clean up all these other quests because she will send us on another race.
You say you saw no sign of Uruk warbands along the road? These are good tidings.
Or it means the road is still a boon for Mossward and not a bane as I feared it might become. The road has been key to Mossward's survival for my entire life, Beriathan. The portion of it we know begins at Tharabad, and although the road itself is broken in places and obscured by foliage, it runs through Swampfleet and passes on into Enedwaith. From there it enters Dunland, leads through the Gap of Rohan, and continues on into Gondor. They say it passes Minas Tirith and eventually ends at a port city along the coast, although I have never journeyed in that land. I do come from that land and I can tell you that is very much true. That's how I got here after all. North of Tharabad, the road has another name. It is called the Greenway, and only Mineldor's people are like to remember when it and our own Old South Road were one and the same. The North-South Road between the kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor. That was long ago, even by the reckoning.
I have one more request of you, and then I will be satisfied.
This may be more dangerous than your earlier scouts, and if you hesitate to accept this task, I will understand. The old city of Tharabad is to the northwest of Mossward. It has not been the thriving center of trade it was during the height of earlier kingdoms for hundreds of years, and it has been abandoned ever since the floodwaters took the last of its great bridges. Ellery raises an eyebrow. Abandoned by good folk, Beriathan. Has it become a den of uruks? Is that from where Mathruk's raiding band came? This then is my dangerous request. I ask that you go to the gates of Tharbad and look for some sign of the insignia he wore, the mark of the White Hand. Beware, for if Tharbad is truly held by forces of evil, you may be better served by keeping from their notice and not engaging in battle. Tharbad is to the northwest of Mossward. Go just to the gate, mind you, and no further. Yeah, we are not supposed to be going further yet, because on Tharbad you will find level 15 enemies or so, yeah, we're not supposed to go in there yet, but I do appreciate a lot from Swampfleet and Cardinal how it at all times is drawing from the history of Arnor, especially mentioned in the appendices, and weaving all the storylines around it, and that gives you a feeling that maybe we don't get as much running through the original Shadows of Angmar content. I mean, on Shadows of Angmar you're running through the Shire, Edith Luin, Bree, and then you go to the Longlands and North Downs before you go into the Trollshaws when the path converges with Before the Shadow. But most of these areas were just mentioned in the books. We don't get a lot of information on them, and the game does add to the history of each of these regions, but since there is so little material from the books for places like Longlands and North Downs, that means that most of it is an invention from the devs. But on the other hand, here for Swampfleet and Cardolan, the devs have a lot more material to pull from. They still need to invent a lot of things on their own, of course, but they are also able to draw from a lot of things, and that makes Swampfleet and Cardolan also feel so much more immersive, and that is one of the things that I really enjoy about this area. I guess as we progress through the entire Before the Shadow storyline, we'll get different chances of talking about some things that I have enjoyed, some things that I didn't enjoy as much. So we'll continue talking about it in just a moment. Before I forget though, there is no reason why I shouldn't be using my Beacon of Gondor frame, right? I come from Gondor after all, and being able to use this since level 6, not level 1, I forgot about that, but level 6, this is awesome. Oh my god, this is so much better.
You found it. He is going to be so happy.
You should bring it to him. He used to be an adventurer, you know, and he traveled far and wide helping folk with their problems. Sometimes I think he feels the head of our boy Tegwin with too many tales of his old adventures, but maybe if he hears about some of yours, it will satisfy his appetite for the things. I think Geralt is by the North Gate wearing his old leather shoes. The North Gate. Great, because we also need to turn another quest at the North Gate before we talk to Alla again and accept the second part of this race. So yeah.
What is this?
You hand his favorite boot to him, and Geralt stares at you with open-mouthed astonishment. Why have you brought me this? I thought I was rid of it.
That boot was one half of a pair that was dearest to my heart. They were my adventuring boots.
It is true, Beriathan, that boot was one half of a pair that was dearest to my heart. They were my adventuring boots. They represent a life that I gave up to settle down with my wife Wenna, and now I only want to relive those days by telling tales of my exploits to my son Teg. Now, these boots are my least favorite, for they remind me of those days, and sometimes the memory is painful. I thought I would lose one of them, better that than have when I think I regret the choice I made to settle down. But there, here it is again, and it seems I will never be free of it. Did I not bring it far enough away? That must be it. Perhaps you could bring this boot further afield? Why not show it to one of the villagers in the Storvales? That is pretty far away, and one of the residents of Clegor might be able to find a use for such an old, well-worn boot as this is. This is something that, well, I think it was for the 15th anniversary of LOTRO. Made of Lions made an article celebrating the occasion, mentioning the first quest he ever worked with on LOTRO, which is Inherit Louis, Gisli's favorite, and he mentioned how at the end of it, he added a twist so the outcome of the quest will not be what the player expects, and that is something that the devs keep on doing on many quests, and this is a fine example of this. You would think Geralt will be pleased to have his boot back, but then you see he was actually trying to get rid of the thing, and they give you a full 180 on the entire storyline, so I thought that was a fun detail worth mentioning. Now, we have also completed a deed Tales of Swampfleet, just 5 LOTRO points. As you see, no Virtue XP, as I was telling you before. We have unlocked a couple more deeds. Tales of Swampfleet Advanced, we need 20 more quests. But we need to complete 2 more deeds to get the meta deed done, and that is the one that will get you the Virtue XP. So we gotta get to it as well. 5 LOTRO points on this hand, and now
There
Vevan.
you are. Let us see those feathers.
You hand the feathers to Vevan and he grimaces. They really are quite dirty, aren't they? No matter. This will serve very nicely for making quills. See, you just dip this part into your ink. No, there's a bit too much give on the feather here. Well, perhaps as a paintbrush? It feels like the ridges here on the end would leave streaks, doesn't it? Maybe as an arrow. See how it compares to these arrows of mine? Rather poorly, I suppose. Vevan scowls. Still, many fine uses. Mayhap I will put them all in a sack and see how it serves as a pillow.
But such musings will have to wait. Winter is approaching, and autumn doesn't last.
But such musings will have to wait, for winter is approaching and autumn doesn't last. If the storehouses are not stocked with salt and preserved boar meat by the time the nights turn cold, Mossward will go hungry. Unless the Orcs come back, I suppose. No, don't tell anyone I said that. It is not funny. But we always have need of boar meat, and we are fortunate that many such creatures dwell nearby. If you return to me with fine cuts of boar steak, all of Mossward will toast your name when winter comes. So we'll be going boar hunting, I guess, but these were all the quests that we needed to pick up before getting to the second portion of the race. So let's see how we do.
You are not going to believe this.
I really appreciate your help with that, Beriathan. When I got to complete that there, now I know how to do it and that it is possible, and that's going to make a big difference. But you are not going to believe this. The bully has issued a second dare. He must know I am well prepared to finish the first one, so he's already made up this second one. Will you help me with this one too? I simply must know if this is possible. The same rules are at play this time as there were for the first time. 5 minutes out there and 5 minutes back. I'll mark the spot on your map as I did before. This time you're going within view of the flooded city of Tharbad. So as you see here, Alla's quest complements Elari's quests quite well. And as we make our way to the marked location, we can try and get a couple boars on our way back as well. So if we're lucky, we might be able to get all the steaks of boar meat that we need, but I'm not holding my breath out for that. I think we'll still need to grind a little bit more because this is timed after all, and we need to find, well, we are going further this time than we did before, so we really need to make use of all the time that we have. But for example, you see here, this boar is just by the road, so it doesn't hurt fighting him. Now, if my muscle memory didn't betray me and I had tried to use my masteries, that fight would have been over even quicker, but yeah, my muscle memory is playing tricks on me this time. Ah, rusted dagger. Well, this is not what I was looking for, but this is still part of the deed I mentioned before. So this is still something good. Dwellers of Old Swampfleet. You find a rusted dagger. I hope I don't forget to check that dagger in just a minute, because I don't think we have enough time today for that. But there are a lot of boars in here, and if we are fast, So I might be able to get awesome hobbies. You can now gain a new hobby. That's all fine. Anniversary, I don't think we're gonna do. This now also gives me the chance, first of all, to well, get some virtue XP, but I need to select which virtue I want to advance. Let's say Valor, maybe? Yeah. So that I can start leveling up that virtue. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Wake up. What I wanted to do actually was getting this level 7 crafted sword. On one hand, it's gonna boost our DPS a little bit. But on the other hand, we'll also... Oh no. It overrode my... jeez. It's not working as I intended. I had my sword saved on this outfit, but for some reason it's not working and these goddamn boars keep on stunning me. So I guess I'll need to wait a little bit more until I can use also the sword I intended for this outfit. What a shame. But at least this sword that I have equipped now, it's not as intrusive on the eyes as that other spear was, so that's still good. What do we have here? This is the spot Alla described. How odd, a shovel stands abandoned in the dirt here. Yeah, a shovel. And we need to advance just a little bit more, as we are getting really close to Tharbad, which is in here. You did Pearls of Cardolan, and this is Tharabad. This seems to be the location already described, so we take a look in here. The harsh cries of orcs can be heard within Tharabad, but you see no markings of the White Hand. Alright, once again, we'll get another chance of coming here back to Tharabad, but for the time being, we really need to make our way back to Alla. And if we are lucky, even get the few boars that we are missing for the other quest. I gotta say though, I cannot wait until I can finally get Forced March back. I have gotten so used to it. I feel hindered now. Oh, we got Precise Blow and War Cry. Awesome. This is gonna work wonders in here. So War Cry, Precise Blow. We have not missed anything else. And we can... Okay. Gotta start earning Virtue XP. You gotta try to level up some of this a little bit. Oh, stop doing that, for God's sake. Swear to God, stop that. Alright, 9 out of 10. We're just missing one more. With a little bit of luck, we'll get it on our way back to Mossward. Please tell me... Oh, yeah. There we go. 7 out of 10. Awesome. We just gotta make our way back to Alla, and that'll be it. I hope. Yeah, well, we can use our horse now that we got all the other quest objectives we were pursuing. We really don't need to. We're making good progress anyway, but... Alla cheers as you approach. Yeah. And just give me 1 minute, Alla. I think I'm actually gonna complete the other quests before I talk to you again. Starting with Bevan here.
Very good. This boar meat should help carry Mossward through some of the coldest winter months.
Very good, Beriathan, very good. I will see this boar meat is salted and preserved, and it should help carry Mossward through some of the coldest winter months when belts must be tightened and plates seem lightest. I am glad this task at least proved helpful for the town. I have abandoned my idea of using those craven feathers. A number of uses? My wife said the number might as well have been 0 after she tried a pillow I made from them. Bevan, you fool, she said to me. It takes more than 8 feathers to make a pillow, and anyone who tries it with craven feathers of all things deserves the cramp it would leave in his neck. I suppose the good ideas that spring up in autumn, well, they fall when winter comes. I'd rather deal with the threat of Uruk warbands loose in the Swampfleet than present my wife with another one of my brand new ideas. I think I'll stick to guarding the town from now on. It's less damaging to my morale. Oh, that was awesome. Really nice detail there that the game is acknowledging that you only brought him 8 feathers and you cannot make a pillow out of 8 feathers, and on top of that, well, all that conversation about his wife, that was hilarious. That was amazing.
I am not surprised there are orcs crawling throughout Tharbad.
But it is good to hear you did not see the mark of the White Hand while scouting near the gate. Orc kind are always a danger to the free peoples, but it is the organization revealed by Mathrug's warband that most troubled me. We can deal with orcs, for we have before, but the orcs of the White Hand seem different to me. Thank you for helping ease my mind with these scouting missions, Beriathan. You will always be welcome in Mossward. So we're gonna take the agility one, I guess. Yeah. Alright, that was all the scouting we needed to do for Ellery.
Welcome back. I'm less surprised this time.
Or you have proven quite capable of finishing these airs. Now, I know this one is also possible, and when I do it, I will have less to fear, even though the grown-ups always say getting so near to Tharabad is dangerous. So what did you see when you got to that location? Anything notable? You tell her that there was a shovel standing in the dirt, but its owner was nowhere to be found. Very interesting, alright. Thank you once again. That is the last of the Mossward Bullies there, so I won't be needing your help anymore, but you have been most helpful and I appreciate it. That, however, is not the end of it, not yet. What do we have here? I have heard rumor that the children of Mossward...
I'm afraid things will get out of hand.
Children of Mossward have been giving each other increasingly dangerous dares and challenges, and I am worried that this may get out of hand if they have not already. None of the town guards will be able to learn anything, you know how children are, but perhaps an outsider will be able to learn something? Several children lingered outside the provisioner's storehouse a few minutes ago, and it could be one of the provisioners overheard some of their talk. We need to get to the bottom of this before someone gets hurt, Beriathan. Have here.
Would you lend me your aid?
A group of children. I saw them. They were hoping to get their hands on as much cheese as possible, which seemed a little odd to me. I did not give them as much as they requested, but I thought one small block from the storehouse each would be fine. Those kids have been through a lot, what with the Uruk raid on Mossward, and I have seen few problems that could not be helped with cheese. Perhaps the girl Alla will tell you what the children intend. Yeah, I don't have anything against cheese either, but you gotta admit, the situation is a little bit... I was gonna say cheesy, but As lame as that joke would be, that doesn't apply to this situation, so I think we gotta avoid that. So we have here Heralds of Cardolan, 14 locations. We only got Tharabad. The many folk of the Gladwin, yeah, no. Treasure of Swampfleet, no. Dwellers of Old Swampfleet, we need to discover a couple more things, but we have here a rusted dagger. The thief passed the coin between his fingers, a little trick he learned from one of his many mentors. It is bold of you to flaunt Elgin goods too openly, said a voice from behind the thief. Failing to hide his surprise, the thief spun on his heel. He saw a woman dressed in clothes that looked like they had been stewing in the wet water for days. How long had she been following him? Oh, this. The thief held the gold aloft and donned an innocent smile. This was just a bit of good luck, nothing more. No tips here unless you are meaning to take this from me. His free hand drifted towards the dagger at his side. I have repaid your victim with coin from my own purse, she said, ignoring his lie. I do not intend to take that coin from you. I do not know you, nor your needs, but there is honest work to be had in Mossward. Prey upon those who travel this road at your own peril. The thief sneered. I will not be bossed around by the likes of you. The thief went to draw his dagger, but the ranger, as he would one day come to know her as, was upon him in an instant. She parried his feeble stab and disarmed him, sending the blade clattering to the ground. The thief felt the bite of cold steel against his neck, and he froze. The only reason I am giving you this chance is that you did not harm the woman from whom you stole. She withdrew her blade, and the thief's hand snapped to his neck, checking for blood. He found none. By the time he recovered himself, the ranger's back was to him. She was walking away. Oh my god, you gotta finish the story now. That was amazing, but I want to see how this ends. This can't be the end of it. It's great. Now, okay. Back to the matter at hand, which is the cheese.
You had better get going, I think. So long.
What are you doing here, Beriathan? I thought you would have left Mossward by now. You had better get going, I think. So long. You stand your ground and ask Alla why the children of Mossward needed so much cheese from the storehouse. Her eyes grow wide and a panicked expression crosses her face. We aren't in trouble, are we? It's just that we finally managed to turn the tables on the town bully and you helped us do it. If we're in trouble, I think you should be also. It's only fair. You see, there is a boy named Dai, and he's always challenging us to these dares. And if we don't complete them, then we look like cowards. He's always asking me to run to places very fast, see an item he left there, and then come back to town, and if I don't describe the right item, he'll know I didn't do it. You point out to the girl that she didn't complete any of the dares, since she got information from you instead, but that Dai apparently did go to each of those places first to leave the items. I feel like this just means I'm very smart, Beriathan, wouldn't you say? But because we completed those last two dares, don't argue with me, it still counts. Then, Dai has to fill his pockets with cheese and walk through Mossward. You ask the girl if she has considered that she might be the town bully after all, and she tips her head to one side considering it. Huh. No, I don't think so, but I'll think it over. Given Mossward's recent rodent problem, Dai could be in real trouble. Yeah, we also know about the rats by now. We saw them at the end of last episode. Well, not the end of last episode, but we saw the rats on last episode. And there's a kid walking with cheese in his pockets. Of all things.
Rats, there's rats everywhere.
They were following me until I gave them the slip. Oh no, they're coming back. Oh, that was easy. Thank you, stranger. I give up. No more dares for me. That serves you well. What do we have in here? Yeah, Alla is right over here.
Is it true that I was almost eaten by rats? That's really amazing.
Good job saving him, I suppose. Still, now he's got a really exciting tale to tell. Did he keep the cheese or did he have to give it back to the provisioners? I have been thinking it over while you were gone, and I think maybe we won't challenge each other to any more dares for a while. For a while, I said. I am not saying never, so don't think you're stopping us if we think of a really good one. Goodbye for now, Beriathan. Yeah, goodbye. So that was it for Mossward. But God, I don't understand any of this. Oh yeah, I get it now. We need to go to Clegor now. My bad on that one. But once again, I really want to get my outfits finally sorted out for good on this one. And since we are leaving Mossward, I think this is a really fine place to end today's episode so that we can start next one not only with a full outfit, but also knowing that we'll be starting the next section of our journeys through Swampfleet and Cardlands. So yeah, I think this is gonna be it for today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. Maybe a really short one, but a really eventful one nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.